Thank you so much for watching or listening to this week's episode of Beauties Talking Business, where we have a special guest to do a Q&A session with us on the nail technician salary and how to manage and build clientele with your hosts, AnDrea Pettingill at Shine with Drea and JennyAHansen at JennyAHansen. Enjoy the show. Hello, you are watching Beauties Talking Business, and this week you are with your host, me, JennyAHansen at JennyAHansen, and
AnDrea Pettingill. You can find me at Shine with Drea.
And we also have a very special guest today, KayLa, and she is a newer nail technician in the industry and has some questions for us. So she is being very brave and on the show today to ask us some of her top questions, and hopefully we can answer them for her. So KayLa, why don't you introduce us and tell the people a little bit about you and where they can find you?
So my name's KayLa, like she said. I am on Instagram at #NailedByKayla, and then recently on Facebook at KayLa's Beauties. And I've been doing nails for about 3 years and recently started doing lashes. So I'm trying to open up my service space a little bit. But yeah, that's me.
Awesome.
Well, we're so excited to have you on the show and love that you are here today. So thank you so much.
And this is like super, super brave of you, because we are excited to help you grow your business. And it's like, it comes from a vulnerable place to be like, this is what's working, this is what's not working, like help me figure this out and get real. Because when you get real about what's going on and what you're trying and what's not working, that's when you can like make changes and upgrade your business, don't you think?
Yeah. 100%. And then it helps a lot of other people watching the show too. They're like, oh, I have that same question. So what are some of your questions that you wanted to ask us today? We're so excited. I'm like, I don't know what she's going to ask. So I'm like,
I know, it's just like, let's
try. So my biggest and first question is how to get clients.
How to get clients.
How to get clients. Okay. Do you want to start, Drea, or?
I can.
Yeah, go.
It's a really loaded question.
Yeah.
So and it might not be the answer that you want, but I'm going to go with the first thing that comes to mind for me. The way that when I look back at how I have gotten the customers that I have gotten, that's like my only advice is what I've actually done, what has worked for me. And what's worked for me is being super consistent with my work. Being super consistent with my schedule. I think like the quality, consistency kinds of things like really transfer to appreciation from your clients. I think you notice when you get new clients, you're like, oh, I was going to this person, but they were always running late, or they would never do new designs, or they would never like this or that. And you kind of like pull apart, oh, I don't want that. I don't want that. So I'm going to implement in my business this way. So I think the biggest thing that has gotten me customers is referrals. To you, KayLa, what do you think when you hear me say that? Like what has worked as far as referrals for you?
I definitely think referrals are the best love that you do. So I think I agree with that. It's hard to get your name out there to begin with, just because I am newer. So that's probably my biggest challenge, is getting people to refer me.
Yeah.
I've been trying to offer like specials and different incentives for referrals and stuff like that, but it's hard to get out there at first.
Well, this is where I'm going to jump in.
Go for it.
Because I am huge, and I learned this the hard way, to not really offer specials or discounts, because I think that immediately discredits your capability and your work. You know, I'm not going to go to a massage therapist that's like 25% off, because I'm like, why? And you're touching my body. And so it feels different. So, instead of offering like a discount or a promotion, I would do that promotion and reword it in a different way. You're adding something to it. So instead of saying, discounting or doing, 25 or 35% off of your first service, I would say, like what something extra you could do as far as lashes that you could add on to your service that isn't going to cost you a lot of money, which would be maybe like a free complimentary bottle of lotion with your first visit, or a free complimentary some at-home care kit, something with your first visit. And then you're like, ooh, and you feel like you're getting something extra, which is going to get people in the door, but it doesn't have that icky feeling of discounting, which also is devaluing you and your prices too, because you want to make sure that you're valuing your prices and what you charge, and having that reflect that you're worth it. You're worth every penny, you know?
Yeah.
And one thing that I did when I was first building my clientele is I started with friends and family and let them know, hey, like I do nails and this is what I'm really good at. And we all have our strengths and what we're really good at. Like if I were to ask you, KayLa, like when it comes to nails, what is one of your favorite things to do that you're really good at?
I think you know, it's nail art.
This is so good. I love that you love nail art, because that is like a huge way to get referrals.
Mm-hmm.
When you do like really intricate or really cool nail art, the beauty industry is all about excitement, you know, because of all the hype that happens when a trend comes out.
Mm-hmm.
And if you get people excited and like, oh my gosh, look at my nails, like that is like something huge that will get people talking about you and what you do.
Yeah. So like when you do those on your like your friends or your family's nails, and then they're out and about and they're at the grocery store or whatever, so it's like, oh my gosh, your nails are so cool. Like, where did you have them done? They can either pull out a card and you can get one, you know, on like moo.com. They have the prettiest business cards for a pretty decent price. And Dre, are you writing that down?
I am. I've never looked at that one. I go on Vistaprint all the time. So.
I know, I'm always like I'm always like taking notes or painting my nails. But anyway.
So do you do that, KayLa? Do you tell them? So one thing I was thinking, were you not done with your thought, Jenny?
No, that's good. Just to make sure that starting with the friends and family and word of mouth referrals, that is the thing that's going to grow your business the quickest and the fastest, because people are going to find you there. They're also going to find you through, you know, Yelp and Facebook and Instagram and all of those places, and registering your, you know, a business page, which we have all that information coming up in a course that we're putting out shortly. But
I think the biggest thing about referrals is that you don't have to sell them on working with you. It is authentically just referred from someone who actually had a great experience. And so it's so like just real. And one cool thing about how you love nail art is that no matter what art you do on someone's nail, you can tell them, oh my gosh, everyone is going to go crazy when they see your nails. Please take 3 cards with you. And if someone just like grabs your hand, please hand them my card. And you don't have to say, I'll give a deal. You don't have to say special. You can say, I've heard some that work really well. Like I'm going to write your name on this card, and if it comes back to me, both you and the referral get $5 off. Like I've heard that works really well because it's a win-win for both people. So that's a fun way, but like just getting excited about like, oh my gosh, here's some cards, please like give them out. Can like, you know, start that excitement going. Yeah. Do you think that's something that you could implement in your business, or have you tried before?
I am working on it. I just ordered some cards actually, some new ones. So I was gonna try to do something like that. So planning on it.
That's awesome. And I really like the win-win thing. I think is a really good thing to try.
Because people, they feel like they're excited because to include that. I like that. That's actually a good one. I don't hate that one.
Like my clients get nervous giving cards out. They do, because I don't take new clients right now. And so they're like, I don't want to lose my nail spot, so I'm not going to tell them where to go. And so you want to give them a reason to, because you're building and it is hugely important that you make sure you tell your clients that you are building a clientele right now, that you are accepting new clients. Because if they don't know, and if you don't remind them that, just like in like under your breath, like quickly, well, since I'm taking new clients, you know, and just in casual conversation, just bring that up every time, then it will pop into their head to, you know, they'll know that, instead of like, I don't know if she's taking new clients. I'm not going to say anything to this person.
Yeah.
But if you're always reminding them, like opening your mouth about it it's huge. Like, it's something that's so simple, but
And it'll
it's a very
stick.
big deal.
And not, so it doesn't come off as more of this desperate, like, I have no clients, but that I just moved, I just got married, I'm just starting up a new location, any of these things, and then saying that that you're looking for new clients and that you're taking on new clients, like, oh, well, actually, I am taking on new clients right now. So with me, I had 3 clients move recently. 3 of some of my favorite clients move. And so now I'm like, oh my goodness. So I am taking new clients. And so I say, well, I just had a few clients move, so I have some spots available and I'm looking for 3 new regular clients. And so then it puts it in their mind that they can refer me out to their friends.
That's a good point. And that's all in wording. And KayLa, you can use that wording too. You don't have to be like, my schedule is wide open.
No.
You can be like, I'm taking 3 new clients this week, and when those 3 are full, you'll be taking 3 more, but you don't have to talk about that part yet.
It's all about the way you word it. So, and with lashes, it's the same kind of thing. You don't want to say, I'm just starting, I'm just starting doing lashes, so I need, some clients. It's, oh, I'm now taking lash clients, I now have availability for this.
So can I share something that's kind of like level 2 with you too? If we were working with you, consulting with you one-on-one, this is something that we would offer. That would be, we would look at your schedule and kind of really dive into what specifically is going on for you, because something that is kind of the way the mindset works with creating a new clientele is the way we tell our brain that we're ready to receive more clients. It's like, I call it the law of the parking lot. So if all the parking stalls are full, then a new client's going to go in the parking lot, drive around, and just, drive right out because there's nowhere to park. Does that make sense? Yep. So when you have your schedule, whether you do it paper, whether you do it on Google Calendar, if you have it marked out, like you can mark it out when you start your day, when you end your day, or like this spot's for a client, this spot's for a client, this spot's for a client. If it's not marked out like that, you're not telling your mind, your brain, your mindset, you're not, if you want to say it like you're not putting it out there to the universe, you're not putting it out there that there are open spots. Because what you end up doing is you fill those spots with laundry, kids, errands, and the universe goes, oh, I'm not going to send her any clients.
It's true. It's so true. And we're kind of woo-woo anyway, but it's very true. It's making a space for them to exist in your world. And it's just having that space, you'll see that people will start to pop up and show up. And also, you don't ever want to turn down business or say no, but still have healthy boundaries within what you're doing. So, if someone asks, make sure you know your prices, you have them set, and that those are your prices and that's what you charge. And so then if someone's like, oh, that's a lot of my budget, oh, I'm sorry, well, unfortunately, then that's not a great fit, but I can refer you to someone that might work well with you. And so you're not like lowering and feeling like you're taking for granted. So I don't know. Do you have another question, or did that cover it? Did that make sense?
What is coming up for you as far as like ideas and what things could work for you?
We just went off on time.
We want to hear from you.
So something that you just said, Jenny, about, not changing prices. I had a girl that came the other day and she couldn't afford, the $35 fill. So I told her, okay, we can do every 2 weeks instead of 3 weeks and do 25. You think that's okay, or is that pushing it?
I think it's okay. I charge more for 3-weekers because there's more work involved, unless their nails are pristine and perfect. Then I don't. So a way I'll phrase that is that I charge for repairs. And so people who kind of let their nails grow out really long and they rip off like 5, I'm like, oh, dang it, you have like 5 that we're going to need to repair today. let me add that up. Okay, it would actually be cheaper to do that as a full set instead of individually as a repair. So we'll just do a full set today. And then they're like, oh, okay. And then because then I'm like, okay, yes, you're getting the cheaper price, but yes, now you know I charge for repairs, which means yes, don't wait too long and pick your nails off. So they learn very quickly. And then the next time they come back, guess what? I don't have a lot of repairs to do. So that's one thing that I think is okay. I would recommend, since I do know a little bit about your work, I feel like that you could be charging even more than that. So, but you know that because I always tell you that.
I know.
I'm like, link to our pricing video here. But absolutely, if they're like, oh, I can't really, that's out of my budget, blah, 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 then, I mean, that's a personal call. But again, you don't want to be attracting price shoppers as well. People are going to get what they pay for. And if you're doing really good high-end and quality work, which I know that you do, then it comes to a value thing as well. And if they're like, oh, this is a little bit out of my budget, then that's when I would very bravely fake it till you make it and say kindly like, oh, shoot. Well, you know what? I completely understand. Been there before. Let me refer you to someone that you might align with that better. And then have a couple people in mind that you can refer to that charge less. Or if you're sick, or something that you can refer someone to, or if things come up like that. But I would recommend like really holding true to your prices.
Okay.
What do you think, Drea?
I love what you said.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm curious, like I would want to like break down your price sheet and kind of get to know like what your prices are and what clients are paying what prices actually in the salon and stuff like that. How are you feeling about how your set point at is with everything?
I feel like I have looked at prices, around me, and I'm down in Orem area, so it's kind of all over the place, but they are slightly lower down there, especially people that are working out of their house. I don't know if they don't know what the prices like should be or whatever, but
So
I feel like everyone's down there.
What's your salon situation? Are you out of your house? Are you in a salon?
So I'm out of my house right now. I actually had an interview yesterday for a salon, so I'm hoping to get in there, but for now I'm out of my house.
Okay. Awesome.
So did you watch our interview we did with Holly?
The nail fixer one? Yeah, I watched that one.
Did you see what she said about pricing?
I don't remember. I watched like
super juicy. You should fast forward to that part. I'm like, another link.
She is super good. It's kind of, they say that there's like an 80% rule. If you're like 80% maxed out, like if you're of what you want to be, if you want to be this busy and you're 80% that busy, then you should raise your prices. And if you're building right now, then it's probably time for you to stay the same. I'm not sure, not looking into, not knowing all the details of your business, but it might be something that you get to work on being 80% maxed out on clients coming in before you raise prices.
Yeah. One thing that I personally do is that like that same person that is on a budget with the $35 for a fill was high for them. How did they tip? What did they tip you?
I think she hadn't tipped at all.
Okay, so
yeah,
I would absolutely not accommodate her at all. If that was a client that showed up loyally every 2 weeks, tipped me $15 every appointment, and was like just a diehard loyal client, I would probably accommodate her if I knew that maybe she was in a financial situation temporarily where she needed to cut back and like didn't want to give that up, that I would work with her on something, or him, you never know. But as far as like she's trying to get you to lower your prices and isn't tipping, that's just a waste of your time and your energy. And it sounds harsh and it sounds cruel, but that's just the reality of the business and the situation, is that this is your time, your expertise, your knowledge, and the effort that you put into your work. And that needs to be respected. And if a client's not going to respect it now, they're not going to respect it later. And I really feel like that's where you kind of have to go into this energy in this space of the faking it till you make it, and that your value is a lot higher than you're putting on yourself, that you deserve better than that. So, you know, you want to be in healthy, good relationships. And when you have those clients out of the way, and let's say they leave that parking spot, like Drea said, and it opens up space for a new client to come in, that you will energetically manifest and bring in someone that is going to pay your prices and tip well and be grateful for what you do. So for me, when I start feeling really taken for granted, like if I start to feel like my time and energy and effort, and I start to feel icky and stressed out and anxiety when I'm about to do a client's nails, then that gives an indicator for me like, okay, it might be time to raise my prices, or maybe this person is taking advantage of me and that I need to set some boundaries around that. Yeah. So that's like my internal like take on that situation when it's time to raise prices. Does that make sense?
Yep.
Do you have one more question or anything?
I do have one more. So, let's see, I don't know how to word this. Making your clients feel like they want to come back and keeping them, because I feel like I get a lot of, you know, the one-time clients. So what tips do you have to keep them coming back?
Ooh, I got a good one. You go first, Drea.
So, doing awesome, consistent nails, and then being sure to, when they leave, when they're getting ready to leave, I always say, so are nails something that you want to keep up, or is this just a one-time thing for you? And I feel like they always say they want to keep them on because that's like, they just come to keep them on. But you know, sometimes it might be a one-time thing, but I have more consistent clients than not.
Yeah.
And so rebooking them before they leave the salon is huge to me. I don't ask them, do you want to come back?
Yeah.
Yes or no? Open-ended question. Like, I don't say that. I say, do you like having your nails on, or is this just a one-time thing, you know? And then they'll be like, I like having nails on. And be like, okay, so in about 3 weeks, you're going to need a fill. And that's the average that my customers come back in. If you want to push it to 4, you'd be looking at this price difference, or whatever you want to explain, whatever's pertinent to your business. And then you say, I have this spot open or this spot open. Which one would you like? Instead of like saying, I have that whole week wide open. Mm-hmm. Like, it's weird. You have to like give them 2 options, and it works better.
Yeah, I did the same thing. So like during the consultation, let's say they're coming in for a full set. It's their first time putting nails on. I ask, is this for an occasion? And then usually it's, no, I used to have my nails, you know, for like 15 years I got them done. And then I just moved or something came up and I stopped, and now I just want to get them done again. That's like, oh, ding, ding, ding. Like, they did their nails for 15 years. And they're going to maybe do them another 15 years. I want that.
I can turn them back into a client.
Yeah. So, or if they're looking for someone to do better work, you know, then that's something too, that during the service, I'll let them know that I usually recommend like coming in every 2 to 3 weeks for a fill. I usually say 2 weeks, and then people who really want to stretch at 3 will stretch at 3. I've found that those ones aren't as loyal or regular. I don't know. I feel like that 3rd week they start to fall apart. So I kind of just say, I guarantee my work up to 2 weeks. That 3rd week, like, you're on your own. But I say it in a funny way.
It would depend on what service you're doing too. I do a lot of acrylic, and Jenny does a lot of like shellac.
Yeah, and shellac. So one thing I'll do is like, I'll be maybe right after their hand massage. And that's another thing, is the quality of work and being consistent with making sure that I put an effort in to look professional, set the tone and the environment, and to really nurture and service them, right? And then like after their hand massage, I'll just like pull out my book, and I don't have my book with me. So I'll just like pull out my schedule, open it up, and say, okay, so 2 weeks puts us on the 13th, like the 12th, 13th, or 14th. What days usually work better for you, Thursdays or Fridays? Like, I don't ask, I assume. And then they'll say, okay, the 13th on Thursday, that's a good day. Okay, mornings or afternoons, what works better for you? And they'll say mornings, and then like maybe my entire day's open. I'm going to say, All right, well, I have a 10 a.m. and a 4 p.m. Which would you like? And they're like, the 4 p.m. I'm like, okay, I have you in.
So you're like smiling. What is that? Does that feel like what you're doing already, or does that feel like
No, it's what I do. I think, well,
I'm talking to KayLa.
Oh, to KayLa, because she knows I do that.
I know you do that. I don't. I'm bad at that. I was going to ask, does that get you a lot of no-shows or not really? No.
Nope.
So
they show up every time.
I was thinking of as she was talking, I was thinking of how you could say, you could remind them that you have a 24-hour cancellation policy. You can make sure to remind them of that before they leave. And just as you give them their reminder card, you know, as they're walking out, just to help prevent that.
Yeah. Or if they feel hesitant, I'll let them know that my schedule is full and that I'm busy. And I truly am. But I would say this even when I wasn't busy. I would say, you know, I fill up really quickly. So it's better if we get you in the book, if we get you in the schedule now, and then if you need to cancel or change it, then it's easy.
And using the word, I like to use, oh, sorry.
But yeah, I'll just say it's easier to adjust that than you know, if they're like, oh, I'll call you or text you. But usually if it's, I'll call you, if you give it that opportunity of, oh, I'll call you because they're in a hurry, it's kind of like, oh, they're not coming.
Never happens.
So just let it go.
Yeah.
But
so making sure that if it doesn't happen while they're in person with you, consider it lost. Like you really need to do it that day. You know, the random person will be like, hey, you did my nails once. Can I get back into you every once in a while? But rebooking is key. It's so important.
So important.
And another thing that I came to mind was getting really excited about as the holidays come up, you can talk about different nail art you are getting in, like if you're getting new nail mail, or you can talk about new classes that you're going to take and you're excited to try it on them next time. You can really hype up the trends and stuff about getting them excited about their next appointment. Oh, we can try this on you. Those kinds of things are just so fun. It's just part of what is so fun about the job of getting them excited about their next appointment, and pull out some stuff you forgot you had and be like, oh my gosh, look at this fun glitter. Maybe we can do it on you next time. Like right before they leave and be like, oh shoot, we didn't do this on you today. I forgot I had it. Like, look how cool. And be like, oh my gosh, I want that next time.
Maybe next time. And it's like, these things all come with time too. Like you get more comfortable in it. And is it a little?
And it flows naturally.
It does, like a little, but it takes some time. It's like a muscle you work up, and having these conversations like during the whole service, you have a lot of time to talk to them.
That's true.
And so that's, you know, you can start like building that up. But the thing that I've found is that clients appreciate that responsibility is on you. Like, I'm going to make a note of something they mentioned that they want to try next time. I'm going to send them a reminder. I'm going to get their schedule in the books and remind them so they can forget about it. They don't have to worry about it. And it takes this pressure off of them. And then they know it's just one less thing that they have to stress about, because Jenny's going to send that reminder. She's going to send that text. She's going to remember what we did last time, and she's going to remember what we plan to do the next time. So I'll say, do you still feel like going with a purple today, like we talked about, or do you want to try something different? And I make those notes, and that's something.
Make the notes as soon as you think about it, because there you have so many clients and it's like hard to remember each one, but when you do it that way, it helps.
Yeah. And always addressing them by name. Again, making those little notes. So then right before they're walking in the door, you can peek at those notes and say like, and it reminds you of your last appointment or some of the last things you talked about. So be like, oh, hey, have a seat. How's your son doing? Because maybe that came up in an appointment. And they're going to feel, again, like valued. And then soon it'll start to come naturally. But if it's not quite yet, just take notes, really. And that just makes them feel heard, which is so much a part of our job, is to having our clients feel heard, feel held, feel taken care of, and feel like they're receiving a quality service that they're not going to get at some of the cheaper nail salons.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, KayLa.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much for hopping on. And again, Where can we find you? Instagram, Nailed by KayLa. Facebook, what's your Facebook?
KayLa's Beauties.
KayLa's Beauties.
Oh, cool.
For lashes and for nails. And you can find me at JennyAHansen. And Drea.
You can find me at Drea Designs Beauty is my Instagram, and Shine with Drea.
And this is Beauties Talking Business. And remember, we are over on iTunes as a podcast or over on our website. Come join us at beautiestalkingbusiness.com. Hop on that email list and send us your questions and comments. If you want to be on the show, put it in the contact form or comment below. Thanks so much for watching.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this week's episode about the nail technician salary, how to manage clientele, and listening with our beautiful Q&A with your hosts, AnDrea Pettingill at Shine with Drea and JennyAHansen at JennyAHansen. If you have not done so, please find us on Facebook. Head on over to Beauties Talking Business. Give us a like and stay in contact with our community. And also, please like and subscribe. Lots of love.